Roger Pence. I'm a PCO in this district, and my old friend Bill Bradburd asked me to speak for him tonight. He's a candidate for position 9 for Seattle City Council. He's up at the 43rd District. They're voting tonight on their endorsements. So unfortunately for us, that's a higher priority for him at the moment. I've known Bill for years and years. We've worked together on the Seattle Neighborhood Coalition, which he chairs. And we also worked on the committee that brought the district elections ballot measure to Seattle. So he's a great guy. He's a dynamic leader, and will really be a spark plug on city council. He's has been a business consultant in the tech industry, working for IBM and then for his own business. And he moved to Seattle about 16 years ago and built a home in the Central District, where he lives with his wife and 2 daughters who are in Seattle public schools. And his primary issues are that Seattle is under the control of downtown and development interests, more so than for the rest of us, the people who live in the city. And his slogan is "Take Back Seattle," because that's what he wants to do. Unfettered development is displacing people and destroying the character of our neighborhoods, and it's also a major factor in the growth that is part of the equation, has contributed to the unaffordability of housing. He's also a big supporter of supporting the consent decree with our police department, to make sure that we never go back to the problems that created the need for that consent decree. And also his other issue is transportation, which I won't say anything about for the moment.
Are you comfortable answering questions?
I'm comfortable trying. If I know, I've got a few notes here that I may be able to.
Based on what you know, Bill, what is his position, as best you know it, about $50 minimum wage and creating affordable living in Seattle?
He's been a big supporter of all the progressive issues. I know that generally. He and I have not talked about. Well, wait a minute. I was at his kickoff party, and he did bring up the minimum wage. So absolutely.
Okay. Do you know of any further policies he'd be pushing for instance, affordable housing or anything? What he's saying about affordable housing is that we can't depend on the private sector to build it. There needs to be public subsidies. He's saying public housing built by the city and built by nonprofits that can keep the rents at an affordable level. Okay. What is his position on the current state of the relationship between the Seattle Police Department and the citizens they serve?
Well, as I said before, he supports the consent decree, and the vigorous enforcement of that. I'm not sure what more needs to be said at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, somebody is speaking for Lorena Gonzales.
Hello everyone, how are you doing tonight? Wonderful. Well, I'm here. My name is Michael Charles. I'm here on behalf of Lorena Gonzales, who's running for Seattle City Council, position 9 at large. Lorena is, first of all, we can talk a little bit about her, where she's from. She's from Central Washington. She was born in the Yakima Valley. Her parents were migrant workers, and so she earned her first paycheck at the age of 8 years old. Worked her way through school and ended up going to law school here in Seattle, where she graduated from Seattle University to become a civil rights lawyer. As a civil rights lawyer, she practiced law, protecting senior exploitation, working to protect the rights of immigrants, and wage theft through other workers. In addition to her time as a civil rights attorney and working on behalf of workers, she's made it an issue for her to be the president of the One America, which is the immigrants' rights group here. If elected to City Council, she wants to make sure that we are ensuring that we have safe environment, vibrant communities, safe including ensuring that our police are accountable and constitutional in the way that they're policing. In addition to that, she believes in expanding of transportation, supporting the Move Seattle initiative, and understanding that that initiative is only initial investment in catching up to the backlog of all the infrastructure activities that we have to get caught back up to. In addition to that, she's been a strong supporter of the $15 minimum wage, of all the other recent progressive activities taking place. She wants to be a strong voice for the gender pay equality, as well as similar issues to expanding the paid sick leave, and as well as to all private employers, as well as expanding the, I forget the word, I'm almost done, so I will say thank you, and I appreciate your time here this evening, and look forward to you supporting Lorena. Thank you.
You mentioned migrant workers and immigrant workers as a priority. What specific programs would she like to implement and policies would she like to put in place to assist the immigrant and migrant community?
Sure. So in addition to having started a legal clinic on Beacon Hill working with Hispanic workers, she's going to make sure that that in addition to helping provide protections for workers' rights, which include, again, like I said, the paid sick leave, which certainly affects immigrant workers in the city, the $15 minimum wage, and working with the Office of Labor Standards, making sure that it's fully funded, that it has a consistent funding source, so moving forward we're not having these same struggles of ensuring that there's people to protect these rights, and that certainly has a strong effect on immigrant workers and their issues.
Following along the same veins, but bringing it to policing, do you feel there are specific challenges between the Seattle Police Department and, for instance, the immigrant and migrant communities?
Absolutely. One of the high-profile cases that Lorena worked on was, and I'm sure a lot of you remember this, a few years back in front of China Harbor, there was a young man who got assaulted, and luckily there was somebody catching it on camera that said that you're going to beat the Mexican piss out of you. And Lorena took that on as a case, and actually her work led to the police consent decree that is currently in place. And so in addition to that, she wants to ensure that we not only work on community policing, but sit down and get all people at the table, including the police, including community representatives, ensuring that we are figuring out answers that are not only equitable and helping out migrant folks, immigrant folks, but understanding that the way in which they are going about their policing currently isn't equitable. So making sure that there's an open line of communication between not only the city council, but the community members and the police itself.
Thank you.